This is the next update in my build of the Minicraft 1-48 UH-60 Marine 1 for the HobbyLink International helicopter group build. Picking up where I left off. Alright, so there's those holes that I filled, cleaned up. Mail call. That is my transparent green for the helicopter. So now in addition to the other colors, I now have that transparent green to do the these windows and the canopy on top. So I just glued these doors in place. The fit on those wasn't fantastic. You can see a slight gap at the bottom and top. I'll fill that from behind. This one fit a little better. But again, I think I may have to fill a gap from behind. Okay, I just finished up with the putty in these voids above and below the doors from the inside. You can see up there, there's no daylight anymore. Making progress on this cleanup. All these are bins with clean parts in them. These are pieces I had to glue back together. They came broken. Those are the control handles for the cockpit, and that top one broke, so I manipulated where the sprue will hold it together and then touched it with some glue. And then that top in the back there, that top of those four, which goes on the tail rotor, had broken off. So yeah, this is just very tedious work, and now finally I can dig into this, the last of it, but I want to double check where everything goes. So the more I dig through this and then, you know, kind of look to see where they're placed, and then look at my references, I'm not finding a lot of these things. For instance, all this up in here, it's just not there. Some of these here, again, it's just not there. However, you can see those three antenna-like things. I think I will make those. And then while these pitot tubes aren't on the top, it looks like what they did was brought them down and put them in there. So I may cut those and, you know, maybe make this something like, yeah, if you can see that, have those coming out of there like that. Instead of those, you know, it's technically a little bit of scratch building, but other than that, and then like I said, I may try to recreate a couple of those, or all three of those. And the other thing is, like, so that type of detail, this structure here, it doesn't have those. So while, like for instance, that thing isn't on there, I may put it on anyway just to have some things of interest back there. But a lot of these fiddly little ones aren't there, so that's good news. So I've got pretty much everything cleaned up. Now I have to move to the clear parts and clean those up. So here's my cleanup of that back wheel. That's thin, medium thin super glue. And once that dries, I think I should be okay. I'm gonna start filling this in. I've got the gap filling medium super glue. I'm gonna cut into the clear pieces next. That doesn't look good. Yeah, not the greatest. But then again, not the worst. I have to say, so far so good on the fit of all these clear pieces. Fit has been really nice on all these pieces fitting into the openings. If anything, I have to sand it down a little bit to get in there, which is what you want. So the windows fit great. I'm hoping that I can get that crazing out. Now these are very dusty because I've been filing this one to get it to fit in there, but it fits in there perfectly. There's that window on the other side. And basically what I did is just rubbed it along these sanding pads on the edge. I'm trying to keep that perfectly perpendicular, and then just continually retest fit it, sand it some more, test fit, sand some more. And so it's nice and tight in there. And then those other ones, those ones there, fit. I test fitted everything else. So what I'm doing now is I'm masking these side windows before I put those in. So basically what I did is traced these openings out onto some tape and then cut that out. So that should fit, that window. And then I cut those in half, or, laid them on here. So I'm masking it on both sides so that when I put it in there, once it's in there, then when I shoot the gray from the inside, that'll be masked. And then I can pull that mask off, and then I'll put the center windows in after it's painted from the inside. And then all I'll have to do is mask those from the outside with that masking. So that's what I'm working. I got one done. And here's that other one. I've done that on both sides. So while I'm waiting for, those to dry, I'm cleaning up and test fitting everything. I'm pretty happy with the way this thing came out. I don't know if I can pull it out of there. But I cleaned it up as best I could, several fillings with the super glue. And then while it looks like there's a seam there actually isn't. So I think I've got that pretty much the way I need it. I know it's hard to see it with my fingers in the way, but so yeah, that came out nice. And like I said, this thing here, I'm gonna put that up there just for some visual interest, because there's not much else up there, but you can see everything fits really nice, I have to say. Because it's such a nice fit, I mean, those remain open, so to speak. I'm not smoothing any of these seams out. Even that one in the middle, I'll smooth it out a little bit, but and then these kind of remain open because like that in there, that detail is like a hinge. This opens up on the real thing. So I'm kind of happy about that. There isn't a lot of seam filling and sanding. I think the only sanding I'm going to need to do is on this piece here, because that's now going to be flat. Okay, so here's the light gold gray on these parts. So now I can assemble all of that. Those are the seats. Here's the flat black on the inside of the cockpit. Up there in the ceiling where you may see through inside, and then the front of the cockpit, and that's that console that goes in between there, and then this is the ceiling of the interior and the part that goes up to the rotor blades, and then the rotor blades themselves. There's that center console I put in. So there's the interior. I decided to leave this center chair out of there facing backwards. A, because it has that ejection pin mark facing forward, and B, I think, you know, just kind of would look weird. But then you can see the glue marks on the bottom there, as well as this here. So I'll hit that again with the light gold gray. But the front cockpit came out nice. Now I have to hit that with a gloss coat to put the decals in there. That transparent green on here, because I have a feeling that's going to take a while to dry and like harden. So I think I'll do that next. So I've taped that off, and then I actually taped it down to the bottom of the spray booth because I don't want it to get underneath there either. So I've never done this before, so I'm gonna give this a shot. So I swiped across it twice, and we'll see how that turns out. Okay, I hit this a second time, make it a little darker, and then I also hit these, or dipped these in the Pledge floor wax. So each of those is dipped, and then I, you know, tap them the excess off, and then kind of slide them for more excess to come off along that wax paper. Okay, here's that canopy that I painted. I'm gonna peel this off and see how that came out. So here's that with the tape off, and it's okay, I guess. I guess I got a couple of bubbles in there. I'm not sure how to get rid of them, but yeah, that's a drag. But anyway, my first try at that, maybe it might have benefited from a few more coats, but oh well. I put the landing gear struts in there, and basically they attach to the wall, and then go down and through, and so then I hit those with the gray, with the light gold gray. So the landing gear is in there, and now just waiting on the windows. Here are those clear parts after I've dipped them and I've let them dry. So I'm pretty happy with those. And now I just dipped the windshield. Let's see if yeah, there we go. So I'm letting that dry, keeping the dust off of it. And now they're, you know, they're dry to the touch, but I want to give those a good 24 hours to set up, to be fully hardened. And so until I do, I can't proceed any further with the fuselage, because I have to put those windows in there first before I can put the interior into the fuselage. So I did glue this back corner. I've got some cardboard just in there holding that parallel. So I think it's Sunday night. I think the last thing I'll do in this video then is I did the clear coat on that center console, so I'll put these two decals on. And I had to hit these again with some super glue earlier today to fill those ejection pin marks, and so I'll sand those up. So that'll be the last thing I'll do, and then I'll post this video. All right, so I put those decals in on the console and cleaned up those ejection pin marks again, and of course broke off one of those rotors and had to glue that back on. So this is definitely my stopping point. So I will pick up next time with the windows in the fuselage halves, and then inserting the interior into there, and proceeding with the rest of the helicopter. So until next time, thanks for watching and happy modeling.